I just decided to quit lying to myself that I could be up till 5, 6 in the morning, partying, doing whatever I wanted. Essentially, I think when you're doing that, you kind of put your career and everything else second and that first, because you can never give 100% of yourself because you're always high on something. So it's cost me a lot of money, this partying and other stuff. So I was just like, I feel so much better and productive without this stuff. I was a better parent, a better athlete. I trained better. I slept better. Now for me, like, I have everything that I've ever wanted. And now I know if I slip up, relapse, whatever you want to call it, like, that can all be taken away from me. So you just have to find like a reason, a why. I'm putting myself in the best possible position to win and get all my money and all the stuff that comes with winning. Just imagine how much better you will be if you were 100%.
A year ago yesterday, I stopped abusing drugs. In that year, I got custody of my son, won some fights, bought some houses, cut out all the craziness slash people out of my life, and had the biggest year of personal growth and more focus than ever, and have the biggest fight of my career coming up in November. I'm proud of me. I just wanted to ask you, at what point did you think you had to make a change where you're like, oh man, this is bad. I need things to change right now?
I just decided to quit lying to myself because I was high functioning. Like, I was never late to practice. I always showed up. I trained. I just kind of felt like if I was doing that, then, everything was good. I could be up till 5, 6 in the morning, partying, doing whatever I wanted. And I just felt like as long as I made it to practice, regardless if it's just like an hour of sleep or 2 hours of sleep or whatever, that was good enough. And then, you come to the realization, like, I've lost some fights that were like much closer than they needed to be. And I just didn't have it to like push at the end or whatever. Probably the main thing was I was going to court for my kid and I had to chill out for a few months. So, I think they only go back like 3 months. So my initial plan was to just chill for 3 months, go through all that, and then got delayed. And then 3 months became 6 months, became 9 months, and I just was like, yeah, this is what it's like to like have a clear head and get the most out of your training and have the most out of your body and whatnot. So I like really started enjoying how I felt and just how everything was like shifting to could go one way, could go the other, to everything just kind of like on an upscale tick. So once you realize that, and then you quit lying to yourself, and everything just started going good. So I was like, why would I try to jeopardize this any further? And the next thing you know, it's a year, and you're like, damn, just like look at my life from a year ago to now, and how much better it is. And so let's just keep doing that.
What would you say was the biggest vices you were struggling with before? Like before you cleaned everything out, what was it that really held you back, would you say?
Listen, you name it, I was doing it. Everything. I never smoked crack or did heroin or nothing like that. I wasn't like strung out or nothing like that. But I was partying a lot. I was doing the most. Essentially, I think when you're doing that, you kind of put your career and everything else second and that first, because you can never give 100% of yourself because you're always high on something. And so, I just made a change and everything's good.
How did you stop that, and what did you tell yourself why you had to stop these things?
I'll still have a drink every now and then, but I don't get drunk. And that's one thing I was really struggling with, was like moderation. It's like all or nothing type of thing. So that's one of the things I also had to get under control, because sometimes you guys like, oh, I'm gonna have one drink, next thing you're standing on top of the bar with no shirt, swinging it around like PD Pablo, And so I don't know. Everybody's different, like some people, like they like self-medicate with marijuana, with weed or whatever, and it's cool. Some people are like, it doesn't bother them, it's not a vice, they're still fully functional, they can do everything that they need to do, be a parent to their kids and all that good stuff. For me, like, weed was the first thing like that went, because I smoked weed all since I was 13, and it wasn't as strong as it is now. So I found myself like being high and then coming home and wanting to take a nap. But then I had young kids, and so they'd be jumping around and being kids, and then I just get irritated. I'm like, man, it's not them, it's me. If I wasn't coming down off this little high, then I'd probably be more enjoyable. Weed was like, I was like a no-brainer. I was like, but then like the uppers I really liked a lot. So, but it's really up to you and where your comfort level is at. I guess for me, I just like, it's better to not do nothing, because if I do anything a little bit, I'm gonna end up doing a lot of whatever it is. coke, pills, alcohol, weed, just there's no like moderation for me.
Was there like a specific moment that you had where you're like, all right, this is the rock bottom. I need to make this change. I need to stop everything, or was it like a gradual thing for you?
Well, I don't think I was ever at like rock bottom. It's not like I wasn't showing up to training. It's not like I wasn't showing up to like events for my kids and stuff. I just wanted to be better at everything. And then like, yeah, like I was telling you, like I was going to court for custody for my kid. So I got clean, and then, it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And then I was just like, I feel so much better and productive without the stuff. I was a better parent, a better athlete. I trained better. I slept better, everything. And then we finally went to court. We took a drug test. I was clean. She wasn't. So they gave me full custody of my kids. So now for me, like I have everything that I've ever wanted. And now I know if I slip up, relapse, whatever you want to call it, like that can all be taken away from me. So for me, partying and doing all that other stuff doesn't outweigh having my kid, and then my kid coming home to my house every night, my kid coming home, waking up in my house every night, the conversations that we have in the evening time, and just all the time. Like I don't have to ask nobody. And I know this is like even sounds crazy because I'm talking about my kid, but I don't have to ask permission to like take him on vacation. It's all what we want to do. I took my kid to Turkey this year. We went to Colorado for a while. So I can do anything and everything that I want with my kid. To me, that is more valuable than all the other stuff.
Did you ever have like a point? So you get yourself clean from all of these things, but was there ever a point where you're like, I've been doing pretty good for 3 months or so, or 4 months. Maybe I could just like slip in one drink there, or just like one joint there, or just have one night where I'm having a good time. Was there any of those thoughts? And if they were, how did you deal with that?
Nah, not really, because I just like the consequences too great. Like I said, I'll have a drink every now and again. I'm really just at the gym, at the house, or doing this real estate stuff. So like I lost a lot of friends because they all want to go out, party, do all that stuff. It's like, nah, I'm not trying to do all that. So you kind of realize who's a real friend and who isn't, kind of who understands like the path that you're trying to go down, and they're not on the same page. So it's just kind of like a natural progression of things, I guess. So, and I live in Birmingham. This isn't like Vegas, or this isn't Miami or nothing like that. So there's just not a whole lot of temptation to like go out and do stuff. So I just I'm really just in the house or at the gym, or doing something with my kids. So it's not that difficult when you put things into perspective.
Would you say this is the best version of yourself that you've ever been in your life?
I think so, just because like I've always done something or whatever. Like I said, like since I was 13, even younger, like they put me on Ritalin when I was like 5, 6 years old, and then you just kind of evolve into other things. So like I don't do anything. I might take some mushrooms every now and again, but they say it's good for your brain. So outside of that, like I don't do anything other than I'll have a drink every now and again. So I just feel like rested. I feel like more clear mentally. Like if I have to make a decision or whatever, it's like I can do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it.
What advice would you give people who are in like that similar situation that you were in a year ago?
Yeah, like for me, I quit cold turkey because I just kind of realized what could be. Like I could, like if I mess around and fail a drug test, and it's definitely a wrap. So for me, I just quit cold turkey. And it sucks for a while. Like it's just like if you drink coffee every day and you stop drinking coffee, like you get those caffeine headaches and things like that. So yeah, I guess that stuff does happen. But I think for me, it was like what's more important. And it wasn't very hard to make that distinction between the two. So it's like go out, party, do a bunch of drugs with a bunch of people that don't care about you, or have your kid at home and you guys can go do whatever you want. So for me, it's an easy choice. And I think you just have to find like a reason, a why, even if it's just because you want to do better for yourself. That was my reason. But I guess everybody's at a different stage, a different level. Like I said, I never did like heroin or crack or anything like that. So for me, it was just easy to like rationalize and lie to myself. It's like, oh, well, it's just, a little bit of coke, or it's just an oxy or a Xanax or with some weed or whatever, but people do a good job of lying to themselves. So you just got to look in the mirror and face the person in the mirror. And I wouldn't say that I'm like a counselor or nothing, but I found a reason. Everybody's got a reason. Just because you want to is also a reason,
How would you say this improvement on yourself has improved you as a fighter?
I get more out of training. Even now, I think back like at football, like how much better would I have been if I wasn't at a bar chasing girls all night and then showing up to practice hungover or even high. Like, yeah, I was even like smoking and doing that stuff when I was in school. You know, how much better of a football player would I have been? You know, how much better shape would I have been? How much more recovered would I have been? Now I'm a little bit older, so now like it's definitely paying dividends to come home and rest. And even if I'm not like I'm not a sleeper. Like I don't sleep very much at all anyway. So, but even if I'm like off my feet in the bed watching TV or reading a book or something, I'm still recovering. I'm not doing anything like. But if I'm out, even if I'm not drinking, even if I'm out and about and doing stuff, like I'm still on my feet. I'm still not resting and recovering. So I'm not 100% for the next training session. So I feel pretty good, going into the next training session.
During your entire MMA career, what would you say was the like most difficult part of it?
I don't know, because I love training. I love fighting. I guess it's just the extracurriculars and just not like, did you know what I'm saying? Like, I live in Birmingham. There's no like athletes here for real. So everybody's like pulling you in one direction and another direction. And, you're just trying to give yourself to everybody. And, the people, they really don't care about you or whatever. They just want to hang out with the UFC fighter, So I think coming to the realization that, not everybody's your friend for real. Not everybody cares for you. Not everybody looking out for you. Everybody kind of wants something from you or just wants to say, post a picture on Instagram, hanging out with. And I'm not like saying I'm that, but there are people who are like that. And like I said, when I stopped doing all this stuff and partying, the phone stops ringing. So who's really your friend for real, So I think just realizing like that person's not for you, that person's not for you, that person's not for you.
Was there like a fight or like a period during your career where you were like, oh man, this was tough? And looking back on that with your new mindset, with the new Eryk Anders, like how would you fare in that situation? Would you do better or will it still go the same way?
Nah, I think because you're not training 100% or at 100%, you're not rested and recovered, you're not getting everything out of your training. The Machida fight was a close fight. I should have won. Theodora was a close fight that I should have won. Iron Turtle was a close fight that I should have won. Christoph Jocko was a closer fight that I should have won. So that's half my losses right there. Roundtree beat my ass. He was going to beat my ass no matter what. Thiago Santos, I fought him on 6 days notice, was obviously still doing that stuff. I think that fight could go either way as well. So that's over half my losses that I can just think of off the top of my head. All the fights, that's over half my losses. And I'm sure the other ones outside of Roundtree probably were like super close and could have gone either way. So, I could be in a much better position financially, a much better position with the rank. I'd probably be getting paid more money at this point. So all these little things, at the end of the day, looking back, it's cost me like, I think I'm 8-8 in the UFC. All right. So that means I've only made all my money half the time. So that means I've lost half my money and I'm still doing pretty well, but I'd be doing so much better had I won those close fights. So it's cost me a lot of money, this partying and other stuff. So, but you don't realize it at the time. You're just like, but now me looking at it a year removed from all that stuff with like a clear mind and mental is like, dude, like I've cost myself a lot of money doing this stuff.
So now that you have this new mindset, this new version of yourself, what would you say are your goals now moving forward?
Just to continue to go out there and be the best version of me, keep doing what I'm doing. If I lose, like, it's fighting. Competition sport, there's got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser, and I think I'll be able to rest easier at night knowing like that's just the way that was going to play out. I'm putting myself in the best possible position to win and get all my money and then all the stuff that comes with winning.
That's awesome, Eryk. Honestly, like after I saw that post on your Instagram, I was very excited for you. Honestly, I think that's worth more than a UFC championship, for example, because there's UFC champions that get to the top, but mentally they're not good. It's funny because you're facing Chris Weidman next, right? Chris Weidman even said this when he won his championship. He felt depressed because he got to the top and he's like, what now? He didn't even think about these things. What now after it? And it just goes to show you that there's going to be a lot of people who reach whatever they reach in terms of goals, but mentally they're not there. So when I see a post like what you posted saying that I'm in the best place right now, I'm proud of me, like genuinely saying that. I saw that, and there's a lot of people who post things like that and you could tell it's fake, but I feel like with you it's genuine and it's an exciting thing moving forward for you as a UFC fighter, but also just as a person in general. So I'm proud of you as well, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and to be honest, I really didn't think that post would like take off like it did. I wasn't like doing it for attention or nothing. It was just celebrate me kind of thing. And then, now people like you and other people that are reaching out and asking about, I don't know if the struggle is the right word, but like, just kind of like overcoming that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's cool. And like, it's even better that other people are seeing that and being inspired by that and, trying to do the same thing for themselves.
For people who are watching this and they're going through a tough time in life, they're trying to figure out a way to get to the other side, what advice would you give to them?
Just find a reason. What are you trying to do? And like, do you really need that stuff? The answer is no. You find something else to substitute it with, like working out or reading a book or being around someone who holds you accountable. I think everybody has to figure out their own recipe. This was just mine. And like I said, I'm no counselor or life coach or nothing like that. I can just tell you what works for me and, try to put you down the same path for you. And if it works, cool. If not, then, you can seek help from a professional, So for me, I just had to find a reason why. And I think one of the biggest things that people do is they lie to themselves, especially if you're like me. Like, I could go out, party all night, chase women, do all that stuff, and then show up to the gym and train, still compete with the people around me and do all that kind of stuff. So he's like, oh, well, it's not taking such a toll or effect, but, you're lying to yourself, because if you're doing that, you haven't slept or you're still, high or hungover or whatever. Just imagine how much better you will be if you were 100%. The gym and training, that helps, because if I'm there, I'm not anywhere else. And then also, like, the high you get from training and working out and stuff, it's enough for me. Coming home to my kid, picking him up from football practice, taking him to his games and stuff, that's enough for me. That's my reason.